Hi, everyone. Today is very special because we are interviewing the Elevate Life, Identify Impact, and TLT founder, brain behind it all, Andrea Hazim.
Hi, everyone.
So you've been working real hard on this year's Identify Impact curriculum. And yeah, I've heard you're even working on like a TLT after Identify Impact program so that the students can stay connected all year around. Now, so it's something that you've kind of done in the past, but you want to bring it to that next scale. What will that look like?
I like to think of it as the TLT movement. I mean, we are really training tomorrow's leaders today, TLT. See my little pin here? That's what all our alumni get when they are pinned on the last day at our ceremony, as you know, and as they come back year after year, they build upon it. And I feel like what we're doing is we're training trainers and we're mentoring mentors. So I want to give everybody opportunities to step in and use all the tools. Because as you know, from last year at Identify, we talked about the knowing, doing gap. You could know something, but doing it is a different story. So we need to have opportunities for these young leaders to step in and apply what they've learned, hopefully in a service-based model. So, but it will be values-based, and it will be something that will be able to keep everybody connected throughout the year, school year, taking us into the next year. And it may even be associated with an award ceremony and some nominees and some scholarships.
Very
and not
cool.
just scholarships for college, scholarships for, say somebody wants to be an entrepreneur and not go to college, why shouldn't they have the scholarship to put into their business? So it's going to be a fund just for those who want to go to college. It'll be a fund that will be a blessing and a reward for those who really are soaring. Like, see my poster over here? This is one of my favorite things that I like to tell people. I don't know if you can see it, but it's in our curriculum. It says you were born for greatness, because you know what? You are an eagle. That's what I tell young people. You are an eagle. You are not a chicken or a crow scratching around on the barnyard floor with your face down in the dirt. You were meant to soar to high places. What does that mean? It means excellence. It means extraordinary. It means exceptional, not average, mediocre, or common culture. You know, in today's world, I'm also a chiropractor and nutritionist, and I taught health and nutrition as an expert for many years. And you know what's average? Heart attacks are average. You know what's average? Obesity is average. What's really average is people who don't take time to take a look inside and find out their identity and their purpose. And pretty much, if you look at the statistics, unhappiness is average. Isn't that sad?
That is sad. That is kind of crazy to think about how the average is actually what we would like to consider below average for a lot.
Way below.
Yeah. Wow.
To me, that's bottom barrel living. Like, to live a life of mediocrity and unhappiness where every day is drudgery, you just go back to the same job or back to the same routine. Or I know maybe many young people feel like this when they're young, like going to school is drudgery. And I could see how it may feel that way. But, you know, it's really about changing your state and renewing your mind and redefining things. That's why I like to say, my other favorite poster is hard is the new fun. Anything worth anything in life is not easy. So forget easy. If it's easy, it isn't worth it. Those
True.
Anything challenging, provoking, causing you to grow and stir as a person is going to be hard. But so what? Hard can be the new fun. I mean, take a look at any Olympic athlete or any entrepreneur or anybody who's created incredible value in their life. They went through hard. And now, you know, like Dave Ramsey, I don't know if you guys know who Dave Ramsey is, but he's a financial expert. And his favorite quote that I love, which relates to health as well, wealth or health, same message. Live like no one else now, eagle, excellent, so that you can live like no one else later, right? Think of it in the health realm. If you take care of your body now, you only get one. Then later, what's average when most people in their 50s and 60s start getting on meds after meds? Try to find one senior citizen that's not on a couple meds.
Right.
That's average. But if you want to live like none of them and you want to be excellent at that age, you have to start now. So that's why we do this training tomorrow's leaders today, because there's no time to wait till one day. It starts now. And you guys are capable.
Yeah, that's huge. Hard is the new fun is something that I was first taught when I came to identify impacts back in 2016. And it's something I've taken to heart and just have is a little bit of my mantra. I don't know if I told you this, but I actually, over the weekend, I hiked my first Fort Tainer, which is,
wow.
There are 56 of them in the state, and it's a mountain over 14,000 feet. And I hiked within 24 hours, 24 miles up and down 8,000 feet.
Wow. How'd you feel?
It was the most physically challenging thing I've ever done. The last 3 miles, my legs and my feet were hurting so bad. And I was like, this is torture. I wouldn't recommend this for anybody, but it was fun. It was really hard, but it was fun and it was worth it. And it was, I feel stronger now. I know that if I was ever in a situation where I would have to hike that long, I now know I'm physically capable, which is nice. And
yeah.
I've already planned my next hike. So it's yeah. You target this toward young adults and teenagers because you truly do believe that they are capable.
Yeah.
What is maybe an example of a student that's come through the program that has come out and been a serving leader, or like really took a lot of these things to heart and like went out and actually did something?
Well, Danny, I think of you.
I mean, I wasn't going to say anything.
We might as well talk about you. We're here together talking about all these things. I'll never forget that first year as a student. I'll tell you a little story about Danny. We did an exercise. We can't tell you what the exercise was because you can only experience these things once. So hopefully you'll come and you'll experience it on your own. But in everything that we do, it really is designed to provoke people to growth, look at themselves and see how they play the game of life. Because chances are how you do anything is pretty much how you do everything. So, like how do you show up? So without telling the whole long story, Danny was in a place of resistance, not liking the process, not liking the way my husband and I as facilitators were handling the whole process, which it's a process. And turns out, long story short, it was the very thing that he got to learn from that. And actually, wasn't it that day we talked about the Eagles? Mm-hmm. Because Danny at the time, I think he was still in high school, he wanted to be a filmmaker. And, of course, any filmmaker is going to aspire to be like a Steven Spielberg, right? That's a perfect example of excellence in his field. And I said, Danny, why would I ever sell you out for average? I love you more. I love you too much. I believe in you too much to accept mediocre. And when you win your Academy Award, I want to be front row because I'm a fan. And this exercise will be like framed in your house one day and be the reminder of why something that may look good is not excellent. And I'm not saying, you want to be a perfectionist, everything perfect, like ruin your life and you're, be like neurotic. Not at all. But we all know where we kind of cut ourselves slack. We all know where we're not fully engaged with our best. And that's my job as a trainer. So Danny, I say you are the perfect example because now I've watched you grow into a man with integrity. You've had challenges at work. We've talked through those, you've overcome those, found a voice, spoke out, had integrity. Now you're a newlywed. You have a beautiful, amazing wife who's like top-notch standard as well. And you have your own company. You are the beautiful, perfect picture. And if you watch some of the other interviews, you'll see people like Sophie Paz, Dennis Esteban, Bennett. These people came through training, came back to mentor, and that's what it's all about. Mentoring mentors, training trainers. and letting younger generations step into their greatness at a young age, not one day down the road, you know? So you're one of my
Yeah, I mean,
examples.
I the reason why I run your guys' social media and edit all your videos and even do these interviews is because you guys have made such an impact on me, and the program itself has made such an impact on me. And I reflect back to when I was 16 and I went for the first time, and I felt like I was a top dog. Like I had my life together. I had my mental together. I was cool. And at Identify Impact, I realized that I actually was pretty immature and did not have my priorities straight for what I actually wanted for my life. And it was Dr. Jeff, your husband, who sat me down and got a little personal with me and just straight up told me, it was the only person that's ever told me that I'm not doing life correctly. And I was like, who are you? Like who are you to tell me that? And then after reflection, I was like, oh my gosh, he's so right. And I've been taking shortcuts, and I've been expecting monetary value and respect and all this stuff without earning it and without putting in the hard work to actually deserve it. And I I'd be so interested to look at a parallel universe of myself, the Danny who went to Identify Impact and then the one who didn't, and see where I'd be, because I can't help but to think that Identify Impact has had a huge role in me being married, owning my own business at 21, truly feeling like I have my life together now, and just mentally, spiritually, all this stuff. Like I guarantee you, if I didn't go to Identify Impact, I would have gone off on a different path where I'd be an average 21-year-old right now, for sure.
Average, which looks like, wasting a lot of time, not much direction, maybe abusing their body with who knows what. And,
Yeah,
definitely
I
not
know.
like,
I know because I see it all around me, and I hang out with 30 and 40-year-olds because they're married and they got their priorities in just a different spot than a lot of people my age, where their priorities are getting drunk or hooking up or creating a social media following or playing video games or just all these things that don't necessarily have the future in mind. They're very,
right.
it's
in the present. The future is great. We want to be present in our present, right? We want to be with and be in our circumstances, which is why I say tomorrow's leaders today, right? Like, because we could say, oh, one day, let me get my partying out and do what I need to do. And then one day, well, nobody's promised tomorrow. I hear stories all around me where that person thought they had plenty of time and they didn't. So we want to be very effective, because you know what? Your life's not just about you, right? We're here to be, leadership is great, but serving leadership is the key. And that's really what I'm imparting. It may be a leadership intensive, a leadership organization, but I would stick that word serving in front of leadership, meaning, the normal hierarchy is like the pyramid, right? With the boss on top and all the minions below, and they get the credit and their team does the work. And maybe their team doesn't necessarily feel valued, or they may not trust the boss. Maybe they have a great idea, but they're like, I'm not telling him. He's going to get the bonus and get all the credit, right?
Sure.
Where the serving leader model, they call it the upended pyramid. So now it's an upside down, where the boss, the leader, the serving leader's on the bottom, lifting up his team. When they win, when they succeed, that person succeeds. So it's a win-win. When you help others, you win. You will get everything you want in life when you help others get what they want, which is so backwards and upside down for the world. What do you mean? What about me? And when we stop thinking just about ourselves, like self, the word self on a throne, like I'm the king of me, me, myself, and I, right?
Right.
Life becomes different, because now you're looking for opportunities to make an impact, and your life takes on purpose. You're not just all about you. That gets old, right? Have you ever seen a hearse with a U-Haul behind it?
No.
Picture a hearse with the coffin with a U-Haul with all the stuff the person amassed.
Right.
No,
No.
no.
I want to share an example for a job that I've had now for a couple months that I got for a very specific reason. They were interviewing a bunch of people, and they would purposely leave a piece of trash on the ground right outside of the interview. Like, they would just ask them all these questions, but it was really depending on what they did about that trash on the ground afterward
I,
that
I
they
love
looked at, and they saw, is this person a serving leader mentality person? Are they going to, even though they're not the trash man, are they going to bend down and pick up that piece of trash and go find a trash can to put it in? Because that's the type of employee that I want. And I didn't know this,
good.
but and I'm like super weird because I just love to clean, and I hate trash on the ground. So for me, it was like a no-brainer. I'm sure a little bit instilled in me at Identify Impact to leave places more clean than I've
Better
found them.
than, right?
Exactly. And I live
Were
by
you
that for
about to
real. And I got the job because of that. And they told me that they interviewed 10 people and nobody picked it up. And there were people even more qualified than me, but their character wasn't the same. And so now those guys are
Oh my
some of my best
God.
friends, and I hang out with them and talk with them all the time, and I run their social media. So
That's so good.
it,
I love that. That's like a
yeah, it's a
social
good
experiment.
one. Yeah, it really is.
Yeah. Somebody asked me recently, now your boys are grown, like my youngest is 17, my oldest is 21. And this started out of me being in education, involved in their education. And are you going to still do this now that your children are older? I said, wow. That's a good question. I really have to consider that, because this is not easy, right? But like, I have to tell myself to do the hard things.
Right.
Every year, I feel like it's reinventing the wheel. Where's the scholarship money going to come to help the kids who can't come? Writing a new curriculum, enrollment, social media, all the parts, graphic design, printing, contracting with the hotel, all the pieces and parts, which I love. I love event planning. I love production. I love it all, but it's a lot. So I'm like, am I going to keep doing this? Did I just do it for my kids and their friends and whoever else would come? And my husband really isn't saying you need a job, go work. So, what am I doing? And I really had to pray. I prayed about it. And I said, what is my purpose? Was this all just kind of like a 5-6 year fun thing? And now the kids are growing and on to something else. And I knew without a shadow of doubt, it didn't take long to get an answer that this is my purpose. I could cry. I was born for this. I was born for this. And till the day I die, hopefully I'll be a cool hip grandma. I try to do ballet and yoga every day, so I am. That I will be pouring into young people till I die. And my tombstone will say, all used up for God.